I walked into a coaching engagement once where the company had very clear goals for my client. My client had different goals for herself, and nobody had talked to each other. My first job wasn't coaching, it was alignment. That experience taught me something essential about this work. Before you can coach effectively, everyone needs to be working toward the same destination. This happens more often than you might think. The organization is investing in coaching because they want specific performance outcomes. Meanwhile, your client is sitting there with their own aspirations, things that may not perfectly align with what the company expects. And here's the thing, sometimes these parties haven't communicated clearly with each other about what they actually want from this engagement. When that disconnect exists, your coaching can feel unfocused. The client doesn't know what they're supposed to be working toward. The sponsor wonders why they're not seeing results. And you're caught in the middle trying to serve everyone. So your first job may be creating alignment, not diving straight into coaching. ICF puts it this way: you partner with the client and relevant stakeholders to establish an overall coaching plan and goals. Notice that word partner. You're not dictating the plan. You're co-creating it with everyone who has a stake in the engagement's success. This is collaborative goal setting at its core. It means sitting down with your client and often with stakeholders too to get clear on what everyone needs from this work. So what does an effective coaching plan actually define? It starts with purpose. Why am I here? What's the work I'm supposed to be doing with this client? Then direction. What are we trying to accomplish across this entire engagement? Not just one session, but the whole journey. And finally, success. What outcomes are we looking for? How will we know the coaching has been effective? Without clear answers to these foundational questions, coaching can drift. It can feel unfocused to both you and your client. The plan creates the framework for everything that follows. Here's what I tell coaches in training. When we come into an organization as a coach, we shouldn't just show up and be like, hey, yep, I'm a coach, I'm here, and then just start doing stuff. You want to make sure that you talk with your client and determine, well, why am I here? What's the work I'm supposed to be doing? And what's the goal? What are we trying to do? And what outcomes are we looking for? And how are we going to get there? And how are we going to check in? And when will we adjust? These questions transform vague intentions into a concrete roadmap. You're not just hoping things work out, you're designing the path together. Here's something that catches new coaches off guard. In organizational context, it's not just you and the client. HR professionals, direct managers, executive sponsors, they may all have perspectives on what success looks like, and their goals might differ from each other. So don't assume everyone is on the same page. Create explicit conversations that surface expectations from all parties. Get alignment before conflicts arise. When the client thinks success means one thing and the sponsor thinks it means something else, you've got a problem. Better to discover that at the beginning than 3 months in. Let me be direct about what goes wrong here. The first mistake, showing up to your first session and simply beginning to coach without establishing clear goals with all relevant parties. You're eager. The client is eager. So you dive in. But you've skipped the foundation. The second mistake, in organizational settings, focusing only on the client's goals while overlooking what the company expects. Someone is paying for this coaching. They have a perspective on what success looks like. Ignoring that creates problems down the road. What works instead? Taking time up front to have explicit goal-setting conversations. Creating shared understanding of what everyone is working toward. Now, the complexity of this varies depending on your context. In private coaching, the stakeholder landscape is simpler. It's just you and the client involved in goal setting. Your client has full autonomy to define what they want and what success looks like. Organizational coaching is more complex. You've got HR, managers, sponsors, possibly other stakeholders, all with perspectives that matter. You're balancing multiple voices and sometimes competing priorities. Both contexts require intentional planning. The key difference is the number of voices that need to be heard and aligned. Now, I want to be clear about something. The coaching plan provides direction. It's not a cage. It gives everyone a shared understanding of what you're working toward throughout the engagement, but it's not rigid or unchangeable. As coaching progresses, new insights emerge. Priorities may shift in response to growth. Effective coaching remains responsive to what emerges in sessions, not bound by an inflexible script. Partnership means co-creating the plan together and adjusting it collaboratively as the relationship deepens. The plan serves the client, not the other way around. So let me pull this together. First, establish first, coach second. Never just show up and start coaching without taking time to establish the plan and goals with clarity. Second, include all voices. Partner with your client and relevant stakeholders to define what success looks like and create shared understanding. Third, structure with flexibility. The plan provides helpful direction while remaining adaptable as the work unfolds. With the engagement foundation set, there's one more element before we move to session agreements, making sure you and this client are actually a good fit. That's what we'll explore next.